The second webinar on harnessing the power of augmented reality for science education. All of us who are in the field of science education know that it's a difficult task to explain many scientific concepts which are abstract in nature. And in order that the child understands it fully, child needs to get exposure to few things. Somehow we are not in a position to do this because of our limitations of our labs. One must realize that when we are saying teaching science, we mean two things. Number one is teaching of science, and number two is teaching through science. The teaching of science is basically concepts, principles which have been discovered by people, hypotheses suggested by a variety of scientists and all that. And this being done very well in most of the schools and colleges. The second part, which is teaching through science, is not achieved so well. So the best thing to do is that in order to provide the teaching through science, when I say teaching through science, I basically mean attitude, values, scientific methods, and all those aspects. And the child needs exposure. And we are now in the realm of what is called constructivistic approach. And constructivistic approach says that child should get an experience, exposure. That time only the child will be able to acquire the concept. So, as I was telling you, there are limitations of laboratory, there are limitations of variety of things. So, what we are now trying to do is we are taking the help of technology to expose the children to the apparatus that are used in the labs, the activities that have been conducted by scientists, and also explain the abstractness of the scientific concept using this technology. Fortunately, we are in a situation which is technology oriented. We are all connected. Nowadays, there is a concept of connectivism. Starting from behaviorism, we came to cognitivism, then we came to constructivism. Now we are saying connectivism. People get connected. Now, in this situation, we can use the modern technology to help children understand scientific concept, to help teacher explain the abstract concepts. And in that context, we are making use of a new technology called augmented reality. Now, augmented reality is a technology which enables us to, display a virtual image in the real world. The child can interact, child can share the knowledge, and there are many advantages. So we had a first seminar last month on 20th of July, when we tried to give some general idea of what augmented reality is, and we have also demonstrated some of the units that we have developed at our startup company called EDU360 Knowledge Solutions Pvt. Limited. Today, our general plan is we have two experts. One is from Israel, Professor Miriam, Amit, and another is from Sri Lanka, Dr. Laksham Nonis. So what I'll do after I introduce one of them, they will give you their experiences. They will share with you their experiences, and towards the end of this session, Swapnil Agarkar, who is developing these apps, will actually demonstrate how augmented reality units can be prepared. He calls it augmented reality lessons, and how it could be used by teachers, by students, etc. This is a general plan. Uh, the participants to switch off the video and also keep the audio in the mute mode. If they have any questions to be asked, they can write it in the chat box, and we'll try to take it towards the end of the session. So let me now introduce Professor Miriam Amit. See, first thing is we have invited both of them because they have a long experience of science and mathematics education at the school level. Professor Miriam Amit is presently associated with Ben-Gurion University in Israel. She had a PhD from the same university, and she is associated with science and mathematics education for a long time. At some stage, she was a director of science and mathematics education in the Ben-Gurion University. Later on, she took over as the dean of elite campus of the Ben-Gurion University, and she has been training teachers and communicating the ideas of how mathematics and science should be taught to the students. There is one interesting activity that goes on in Israel, which is the activity for the talented students. What they do is, in order to enhance their creativity, they have special sessions which is called Kida Mutika, and that activity she is very much involved and does a lot of work. One more important aspect which I have seen with her, I have been working with her for a long time, is her interest in ethnomathematics. You might be knowing ethnomathematics is a field where different tribal groups have their own ideas of mathematics. Just last January, she was in India, and we have interacted with Santhal tribes in the state of Orissa to understand their mathematical concepts. So, for her work, she has been giving a variety of awards. She had this Gustello Award for her work in STEM. She had a British Council Award as a leader in mathematics education. She had one award which was given to her for her work in gender equality. Just last December, she was given Ramanujan Award from a group in Andhra Pradesh for her work in mathematics education. So I would request Professor Miriam Amit to share her experiences, and then let us, if you have any question, just put in the chat box, and we can then request her to answer them. Now I hand over this to Professor Miriam Amit.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Greeting from Tel Aviv, from Israel.
Yeah.
It's now morning in Israel, and I'm sitting here and thinking, 10 years ago, was it possible to talk to some hundred honored teachers in India when I'm sitting in the center of Tel Aviv? And the answer is no. The only thing that provides this opportunity that I'm very, very honored to talk with you all is technology. And without technology, we would be in the Middle Ages. We are now sharing all over the world the pandemic, the COVID-19, the corona pandemic. We suffer a lot in Israel, we suffer a lot over the world and also in India. And we pray, all of us, that there will be a cure and a vaccination. But meanwhile, we have to struggle with the situation. And this situation of the COVID-19, at least in Israel, accelerated. It was also a jump in the use of technology, and it was done in one day. I will explain it later. But first of all, I'm looking around. You see all the kids in the world going now like this, all the time in a screen. There are screen on the TV, there are the screen on the computer, on the iPad, in the iPhone or the Android. It cannot be that only education will be the last place that technology is used properly. And again, this is the time to make this jump and to use it in the proper way. Dr. Agarkar, Sudhakar talked about constructivism. I want to talk one step more, which is the STEM education. STEM. It's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Usually in the school, you have technology, you have mathematics, you have physics, you have chemistry, but it's time, we know that in real life, it's not like this. In real life, everything is combined. And in order to make this STEM combination effective, technology must come in. And in this sense, I want to congratulate you Sudhakar Agarkar and Swampy, your son, that you really find a niche, a very important place and a way to meet this challenge in a very, very nice way. You are talking about the talented students. Talented students have some qualifications that I call it the C qualifications. And we want to develop it not only for talented, but for everyone. I have this huge project for talented kids, which is called Kidmatica. But what we develop there is creativity. I call it the C. Creativity, curiosity, communication, critical thinking. All that we want to develop, we need tools to develop. And technology, like the application that you develop, like the tool, it's not only, it's a tool for application, it's a very wonderful tool to develop these qualifications, the curiosity, the critical thinking, the creativity, how to use it. From my point of view, it's a game changer. It's a new paradigm for learning and teaching. And I want to talk in science, we talk always about hands-on. Let's give the kids to try out some experiences, some experiments with hands-on. But in the modern time, hands-on is through the computer, hands-on is through the iPhone or the Android, hands-on for the students now is they feel it even when it's on the screen. And to use the screen in an effective way, this was really a march forward. And I think that you did it a very, very good well. Now the students believe what they see on the screen. They don't have to touch it, but still they have to maneuver it. And this application, this new tool, gives the opportunity to do it, to make the abstract concrete through the screen. It looks like it's a contradiction, but it's not a contradiction. It's really, really the right way to do the things now. And it has several levels. It has the level of the teacher. The level of the teacher that now he can do experiments in the classroom with the screen. He can explain new concepts, but he can make also homework with the same things. So this cycle of exposing the experiments, exposing the concepts, and then to let the children to try it out at home, this cycle is, how do I say, a real reinforcement of the understanding. It gives a new way for the teacher and sometimes also for the parents at home to reinforce the understanding of science, of engineering, of mathematics, which is really hard for the students and also for the teachers. For the students, we want to develop a new generation of autonomists, of autodidacts, of people who can learn by themselves. There is no better way to do it than to provide them the technology, the tools. Give them the hook and they will find the fish. We give them the hook by the technology. And now they can go either way. Nobody will tell them if it's right or wrong on the other way. They will find the solutions by themselves. And this is the big benefit of technology, and this application is really applying this new way of thinking about science, mathematics, engineering, the combination, its constructivism, its cooperation by all levels. Students can now cooperate, students from India with students from Israel, teachers from India and teachers from Israel. This cooperation can work in a way that it wasn't working before. And we as teacher educators, have to make sure that we use it in a very effective way. I'm thinking also of the parents. Parents are asking sometimes, what have you done in school? What have you learned today? And now he can open the screen and show the parents what he or she have learned and to work together with the teachers. So it's a communication not only between students, teachers, but also within the family, with siblings, with peers, within generation. And this is another way that we can make use and change the whole paradigm of teaching, learning, communication, and technology. Another thing is that it gives them also a sense in this application that science is a growing thing. We have the photos of big scientists along the history. Science didn't start yesterday, and as Newton said, it's on the shoulders of giants. We stand more and more and more, and we saw more science when we go on this is my husband, when we go on the shoulders of giants. So now they have feeling that science is part of the history, that science is part of the culture, and therefore I find it so important. I was fascinated by this application. I think it's a big step, but it's a first step in a long march to improve and reinforce science and technology education. And I hope that all of us will make use and contribute to this change of the conception of science and understanding. There is much research about it, but now we can take the research, the application, to do research again, and this cycle will really grow into something very big, very important, and very productive. I want to congratulate all these teachers that have tried it and will try it. I send you from Israel, shalom and namaste to all of you. Thank you very much.
Miriam, for your guidance. Friends, she has basically informed us about the use of technology in the STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. And she also had the opportunity to see some of the units that have been developed, and she was giving description of how they could be used. It was certainly good on her part to spare time and share her experiences with her. And I hope this cooperation will continue. As she has already said, there is a great cooperation between two countries. At the personal level, we are cooperating on various aspects, and this cooperation will continue. Let me now request the other speaker of today's webinar, Dr. Lakshman Nonis. He is from Sri Lanka, lives in Colombo, and presently he is an advisor to a very big group of schools called Lyceum group of schools. But prior to that, he has played different roles. He started as a science teacher, then went to college to teach methodology in science education. Then went to in National Institute of Education in Sri Lanka. He was invited by Seychelles government to help them how science education can be improved there, especially the Cambridge curriculum can be implemented in the island of Seychelles. Coming back, he got involved in the project, UNESCO project on science education. And see, his specialty is he speaks more by hands. He does a lot of activities. In fact, he has been conducting webinars on how simple activities can be performed to explain scientific concepts. He has a habit of collecting garbage, putting them together, creating activities, and that was recognized by Commonwealth Association of Science, Technology, and Mathematics Educators. He was given award by CASPE many years ago for his work. As a science teacher, also he had a activity room where students could come do activities, and he wants people should learn the skill. Children should perform activities and do a lot. He has been, his work has been recognized. What he has done recently is he has written down new books which are activity based, and all of them, those books are being used by the schools under this Lyceum Educational Trust. He has a BSc and MSc from Sri Lanka, and he did his PhD from Missouri in USA. A person who is a teacher himself, a person who has been helping science teachers how to teach science. We have been taking his help for a variety of reasons. 2 years ago, he came to participate in our International Science and Mathematics Festival, which we organized for children at Vishakhapatnam. Last year, February, he came to Bhopal to participate in one of the international conferences on science education, where he demonstrated his activities and showed how science education can be simplified. So he is well connected to India, and I am sure his experiences would be of great help for teachers not only within India, outside India, both in developing and developed countries. So without taking much time, I now request Dr. Nonis to share his experiences. Dr. Nonis.
Good morning and good afternoon to everybody. I'm very thankful to Professor Agarkar and his team for giving me this opportunity. Basically, without wasting time, I will start my presentation. And basically, now we talk about science education and we speak about STEM curriculum. I have gone one step beyond the STEM curriculum. I profess about science, technology, engineering, art, mathematics. You see, the art is something you design. Where when you keep on teaching and learning science, you see the when you observe things, they have got to draw. This brings a lot of creativity into our systems, the children systems. So the imagination, you try to develop imagination, and see the place where I'm talking now is called the Tinkerine Lamp. You see that this is fundamentally it's a small research lab. When the children comes with imagination, this lab, with the help of us, we try to put that idea into innovation. That we put the idea into imagination and make it reality. This is what we are trying to do. And once a year we have this inventions exhibition or science fair, we call it. It's more than the exhibition, it is a science fair. We come with research and development and innovative things, science and technology. And basically, when you go to this science and engineering work, and the teacher will start talking about scientific concept and how you bring this scientific concept into application. So now see, you speak about wheels and whatever. Now see, this is something important that they should visualize. Sometimes the AR theory. Now see, you can bring AR theory into this, and that will help to explain when you visualize. And all this is you get from jump. Even the simple things like that we have created. Oh, uh, water wheel. You see the application of the water wheel and how you make things. You see the mathematics is involved, technology is involved, and the designing of this, the art is involved. So science, technology, engineering is involved, where the wheel and axle is connected. So all the principles are together in this concept. So that is you call STEAM. So this is what is important. And you can bring AR into this, and then you can develop and try to visualize. So I think the children should have a small box at home. That is you call the Tinkerine box, where you have all this junk material, and they can collect and then they can visualize. You see now you can, this all junk. You can visualize this. You see how the linear motion into rotary motion into linear motion, or linear motion into rotary motion. So now you bring AR into this to develop the concept in a more advanced way. The moment that they see, the moment that they come out with this, and they try to investigate on this, so the virtually they can see this, then the development of the brain is more regarding this. So like that, you see, you can talk about many things. You see the structures. You see the structures, the balancing. You see, this is something important. And how the center of gravity, you can explain all these things. You see, so this is what I am trying to explain. You bring whatever you have with all this junk, and you come with the imagination, and that imagination is developed into innovation with the STEAM principle. So this is what should happen. And also, see, you see the aerodynamics principles. So you can get the children to enjoy this. You can get the children to enjoy this, and then you can bring AR into this, the augmented whatever, and then you can develop this, and they can visualize. You see, the more after you see, you try to visualize, and you can come with uh, develop the idea, because the moment that you get the idea, it takes time to incubate your imagination. Whatever your idea, it takes time to incubate. So the incubation takes place with what you see, and what you experience, and visualizing virtually AR. See, so the AR could really help in this system, because the concept could be more analytically, because they have already experienced this. So this is what is important. So many things that you can see. This is a linkage. You see this is a small, all these devices is made out of junk. So the teachers could have tools. They don't have to have big laboratories. And with a computer, still with the computer you can have AR, and with this you can demonstrate this thing and the application of this. So this is what is important in teaching and learning science. The as you say, it is not merely the theory part, and also values. Dr. Agarkar was speaking about the values, skills, and attitudes. So that when these three are combined, only the competencies are developed. What are the competencies that you can give as an educator with this. See, the values in working in a workshop. When you work, you have to, clean the place. It's a value. You look after whatever you have, even the tools that you use, the skill of using the tool, simple tools like that. So looking after the tools, how to use the tool, all that is skill. And the values, the respect for the tools, and the respect for the time, all these are values. So the competences are automatically built, and the education is completed. And you don't just produce just scientists without values and whatever. You try to produce a good human being, a good mathematician with values, a good scientist with values. So our products are not only the mechanical products like robots. So the value part is there, and also the computers. The school is already in the mobile, and if the children are being motivated to, now see now the ideas are working in the mind. So whatever they do, they don't go for this whatever rubbish they want. They will just try to search and try to learn something, whether you have information in this. So this is what is important. And values, discipline, how to discipline yourself, all that is important. And and uh, and also this computational thinking. Computational thinking is very important. And you see the discoveries you just won't make. You have to give them the experience, and the needs and wants of the society. This is what you have to just teaching won't do. The needs and wants, along with the needs and wants, you try to give some concepts, and the children will try to find out already they have problems in this, and then try to come out with ideas and imagination. Then we can help. The teacher could help. So then with this AR could be connected to develop in a better way. So I think I am trying to explain this, I think, in a very simple way, but I can go on with lot of. So take biology. Now I was taking only physics. Now this one is a acetylene lamp. Yeah, with 50 cents of calcium carbide, you can use this lamp for the whole night. When there is a crisis, you see, when there is a crisis, you can come out with. So it's a very simple device. So this is what is wanted. If we have a crisis, how to solve the problem, and whether we have standby things. So this is something very important, even in biology. Now see, take photosynthesis, and whether now see we speak about nanotechnology and whatever. The nano cells, it is a factory, small factory, billions of particles. So this, you create imagination is there. So this is what is wanted. And science, technology, engineering, art, mathematics, I emphasize to go further. So I don't want to take my time. I think that is enough. So thank you very much, Professor Agarkar. Thank you, Professor, from Israel, and everybody who's in this. And I am very thankful to you. So I go on.
Thank you, Dr. Nonis, for sharing your experiences. Friends, you must have seen he had so many gadgets and instruments, and he could show some of them. And the entire rack behind had so many such new things that he has made. I had an opportunity to see his lab in Sri Lanka last year. So what we are trying to do is certainly making a gadget, displaying it, giving this into the hands of children is always good, but it's not possible every time. So we are trying to make use of technology so that this is recreated, and children can interact with it, children can play with it, children can actually experience it in three-dimensional thing. That's the idea. So thank you, Dr. Nonis, for sparing time. What we would do now is we would actually I'll pass on this to to Swapnil, who is full-time engaged in developing this AR units, AR lessons, and which he has a group, is a team, and the entire team has been working together to bring out the app that can be either that can be seen on the mobile uh, from anywhere, anytime, and this can be used by teachers, can be used by students, even parents can use it. Those who want to really understand how a scientific phenomenon works, how an abstract concept has to be explained, can use it. And as Dr. Nonis had said, this is still at the elementary stage. Augmented reality is a new technology, and we are going ahead. We are trying to develop, and as the days goes, we'll have better and better versions of the app. So I now hand over to Swapnil to demonstrate some of the AR lessons that his group has developed. Swapnil, please take over.
Okay, so there are two types of way that augmented reality can be brought into real life. The very first example is, I'll just restart this video. This is called marker paste. So as soon as I bring in the marker, now I'll bring the other marker for Jupiter, so I can see, I can rotate. If you see, when I rotate the marker, the 3D model also rotates it with it. Okay, now this is very interesting. This is markerless. So what happens is, this is another kind of augmented reality where the mobile phone scans the surrounding area. I would say the actual floor, and then it projects whatever the lesson is the teacher wants to perform in the classroom. So this video that we have made is basically to understand how the atmosphere, how the clouds are formed. So if you see, what we have done is we have overlaid a video onto Earth. So you can see how a typhoon is formed, and as soon as it hits the landmass, how it dissipates. Okay, now let me go quickly into the live mode. So whatever I'm saying on my screen is being shared on in the conference. So you see the camera has started, and now I will place the apparatus which was used for electrolysis of water. So you can see there are many apparatus which have been laid out on the table. This is the very old type of cell, zinc and sulfur copper cell. And these are the objects that the scientists use to actually perform the electrolysis. Because this is an AR scene, so that I can see the table from any side. It's a 3D model right in front of me. I'm actually walking across the table. So if I want to know what exactly this object represents, I just tap on that hexagonal markers. Then I get to know, this was a voltaic pile and the use of it. I'll quickly go ahead and start the experiment and show you a very quick demo of what this experiment is all about. So as soon as I connect the terminals, you will see because of electricity is flowing through acidic water, the bubbles have started forming, and you can clearly see the level of water is not exactly the same on both the test tubes, and the experiment continues. Let me quickly go into biology experiment, not experiment, but a student and teacher can engage with a plant cell. Similarly, the camera starts and will now place a plant cell in front of me. I can zoom it, I can make it bigger, I can rotate it. Either I can rotate it by my fingers or I can just walk across the object. Now I'll go and start peeling off the layers one by one. Here you can see I'm just peeling the first layer, which is the cell wall, and I can see clearly what's inside the plant cell. So you can clearly see there are numerous objects inside the plant cell. That you can see the nucleus. If I go near to it, you can see the chromosomes, the nucleus, the nucleolus, the smooth ER, the rough ER, the mitochondria, the vacuole, the Golgi apparatus. So this is more immersive than the textual content. These are the few examples that we have made, and we are developing it further.
So this was a demonstration of some of the activities and units that we have developed. We call them as AR lessons. So I was looking at some of the questions that have been posed by the listeners. One question is how to use this in the classroom. See, the important thing is you may see this on a videos on the screen of a mobile phone, but it could be projected on the LCD projector in the classroom. So there is a possibility of doing that, and that screening enables the entire classroom to see it. We have tried this in some of the schools, and once it's made available, people can contact us, and we will be able to guide them how to utilize this in the classroom. Another important question which came was how to make the AR units. Of course, it's a involved technology. It will take some time. Um, it will take some time for people to acquire this, but then it's possible. At some stage, we might like to conduct workshops. What is now presently on both the Google Play Store and Apple App Store, this some of the units are uploaded. You can download them free of cost. Try them, and if you have any problem, you just contact us through email, and we'll be able to help you in doing that. Yeah, as I have said, there is a mobile app, and the name of the app is Arius, ARIOUS, and it's a short form of augmented reality for curious, because our aim is to make children curious. They should have questions instead of just having information and answer. They should have questions, and they should explore more, and that's why we have given the name as Arius, augmented reality for curious. This is called ARIOUS, Arius. So if you look at the Google Play Store or Apple App Store, you just type Arius and you can download it free of cost at this moment, and you can try it. Of course, you can get involved in modifying it. You can suggest modifications. It's a cooperative effort, and we'll be happy to take the help of teaching community, the researchers, the technocrats, in developing more and more units. So let me thank Professor Miriam Amit from Israel and Dr. Laksham Nonis from Sri Lanka, Swapnil for demonstrating the experiments. And I would like to thank all those who have participated in this webinar. This was the second in the series of the webinars. We are planning a series of webinars, and usually in a span of 20-22 days, we will have another webinar. At this moment, we are planning to hold it on Monday, 31st of August. We'll of course communicate it to you as soon as it is planned. And in general plan would be there would be experts who would share their experiences and actual demonstration of the AR units. So thank you very much.
Dr. Agarkar, Dr. Agarkar, I'm Dr. Madhuri Pejawar. I'm just, I will just like to tell that it was a real good seminar. We could understand a lot related to augmented reality. From my side, it was a little late to send it to some teachers, and they have joined. They are there here and they are passing the comments that it was very good and all. So some have asked whether demonstration can be done in the school or something like that, because
yes.
And when are you planning that?
After this restriction is over, this lockdown, etc., restriction is over, we'll be going to schools. We'll be demonstrating, we'll be conducting workshops for teachers, both offline and online. And we need to make people aware of how to use it.
About 31st, when you send me the link, I will send them immediately so that they can
Certainly.
The video which you are sending, I will be even sharing it with them. They'll be very happy. And I would like to thank both the guests who have from all the way have joined and explained us about the augmented reality. I'm really thank you. Thank you, Dr. Agarkar, for having this platform. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Swapnil, do you have anything to say?
Swapnil too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
So, namaskar to everyone.
Okay.
Want to add one? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I want to tell you that now I have the head of the researcher, and in the next year, which starts in a month, we shall use it in our Kidomatica group, so talented, and we see not only how it works from our side, but in their side. We shall make questionnaires, we shall observe them, we shall talk to them. You will be online, and this is another advantage of technology, to cooperate on research which will be implemented with the talented kids. And they have great ideas, they can improve it, and the sky's the limit for them. Thank you, it was fascinating. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you for your initiative. Would like to get some feedback from you so that these units can be improved further.